he was just saying that like security isn't just about technology. It really is about trust within the company culture. And like, we have to focus on that. So if you are a business owner, you do got to focus on your company culture if you do want to have amazing security in your business, because you need everybody to be running at their best and most amazing level. And that goes for in your family too. Like, it doesn't have to be cybersecurity. It could be like just taking care of each other inside of a family as well.
Welcome to the Be It Till You See It podcast, where we talk about taking messy action, knowing that perfect is boring. I'm Lesley Logan, Pilates instructor and fitness business coach. I've trained thousands of people around the world, and the number one thing I see stopping people from achieving anything is self-doubt. My friends, action brings clarity, and it's the antidote to fear. Each week, my guests will bring bold, executable, intrinsic, and targeted steps that you can use to put yourself first and be it till you see it. It's a practice, not a perfect. Let's get started.
Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap, where my co-host in life, Brad, and I are going to dig into the trust-centric convo I had with Greg Tomchick in our last episode. If you haven't yet listened to that one, you should go back and listen to that one at some point because it's really freaking good. I totally was thinking, how am I going to explain what security is to my listeners? And cybersecurity. I was like, I guess we can talk about how being cyber secure helps you be it till you see it. And we didn't even talk that much about cybersecurity. I still don't really know what it is. So it's actually a great interview because you're going to hear a lot about how to be an awesome human. But first, today is July 18th, 2024, and it's World Listening Day. About this day, it's the Sound of World Listening Day on July 18th. World Listening Day is hosted every year by the World Listening Project. How many times can we say World Listening in a paragraph? A nonprofit organization that is devoted to understanding the world and its natural environment, societies, and cultures through the practice of listening and field recording. They explore acoustic ecology, a discipline that studies the relationship between humans and the natural world as mediated through sound. So quiet down, open up your ears, and get ready to study soundscapes on World Listening Day. So what you can do, because Brad and I are talking about our friend Vincent, and you can go hiking without AirPods and you could just listen to the sound. Just listen outside. You can go for a walk around your block without AirPods. You could actually just sit in your house without turning any devices on. There's lots of ways to listen to the acoustic ecology and, you know, what it's mediating through sound to you, wherever you are. It's important, you know. So, okay, go listen to the world today.
Yeah, actually, they may even have some things for you to listen to over at worldlisteningproject.org.
Cool. Okay, so coming up, we are super close to leaving for our summer tour. And at the time of recording
2 weeks.
5 cities workouts are sold out. That's at the time of recording this. At the time that this comes into your ears, it's possible that more are sold out.
Yeah, a whole lot more.
So you want to go to opc.me/tour to grab your tickets. Yes, you can come to multiple cities. I mean, if you're going to Milwaukee, you may as well come to Chicago or Minneapolis or Cleveland or something like that. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's people who are just like totally grouping out. We have merch for the groupies as well. So check it out, opc.me/tour. At the time that this drops, we have already accepted people to Elevate, and it's possible that there are some spots in 2025 left for you to apply to. So if you're a Pilates instructor who is wanting to have a mentorship program that really helps you have more confidence in your teaching, your practice, your connection to the method, then go to lesleylogan.co/elevate. We only take 12 people in a group. So don't wait, because the next one will be 2026, which is really freaking far away.
It's true.
Cambodia retreat. Our October one is very sold out, but our February one has spots in it. And that one is going to be amazing because it's a different time of season. So it's actually basically the end of the dry season.
Yeah.
And the landscape looks so different. And I think that's really cool to see because it helps you understand like what was going on with these temples and why they are built, and like the Mekong River and all this amazing stuff. Plus the sunrises are stunning in February. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, I mean, y'all have heard me talk about Cambodia before. It's my favorite place. Yeah, absolutely. It's a little bit of a different vibe, but it's a great vibe. I mean, we used to actually always do a retreat at the beginning of the year. And then COVID really complicated everything. So yeah, you should absolutely come join us in February 2025. For more information on that, go to crowsnestretreats.com, crowsnestretreats.com.
And lastly, but not leastly, if you are looking for a workout that works for you, finally, that is what OPC is all about.
Yeah, it is.
So it is got accountability and community and feedback on your form, and You don't even have to have fancy equipment. There's a mat only membership version with really amazing classes and lots of support. And you can go to opc.me/40. opc.me/40. It gives you 40 days for $40, which is $1 a day, which is cheaper than a lemon every day. Just saying.
Before we get started, though, we have an audience question. This is from Allison Troyetsky. She DM'd you here, and she said, "Hi, I was wondering if you have any pointers for some reformer moves to improve knee strength. I use your reformer flashcards all the time."
I love this. So knee strength is really key. It means the muscles above and below the knee have to be strong, which means when you go up the leg, your hips have to be strong and not just flexible, but strong as well. So you want some mobility there, because if the hips are tight, the knees are going to actually be compromised. And so what I would say is if you're on the reformer, well, first of all, we have a whole workshop on OPC about reducing knee pain and strengthening your knees. Sonia Ahmed is a physio and Pilates instructor and Elevate grad out of the UK. And she created that. So you can get that workshop at onlinepilatesclasses.com and you get to keep it forever. And she gave us some amazing exercises that you could do on the mat and also using equipment as well. But on the reformer.
Yeah, that one's called Pilates for Knee Pain. It's a workshop on the site.
Mm-hmm. On the reformer, I think if you are already doing footwork, you need to know that that is part of what the strengthening your knees would be. However, if you are pushing from your knees, you're missing out all the good stuff. And so if you watch my footwork tutorials, I talk about how the knees are not pushing down. It's actually not about opening the knees. It's about working for the back of the legs. And so that would be a good one for you. Stomach massage is going to be really good. And then also hamstring curls are going to be really great. Knee stretches are going to be amazing for you. Front splits. Like, honestly, it's really hard to choose. There's so many more we can go through. But I would need to know if you're hyperextending your knees.
You would need to know.
I would. Pun intended, apparently. So, Allison, if you are an OPC member, then you can actually send me a video of you doing some of your reformer moves, and then I could see what's going on that makes you think you need to strengthen your knees.
Right.
And I could give you more and more tailored feedback, other than like right now, these are just some really great exercises. However, if you are hyperextending your knees, none of these will work. So
yeah, and we have people submit videos to us every single week. We have something called Form Feedback Fridays, and all of our OPC members are allowed to send in videos of them doing their practice, saying, "Hey, I'm confused on this thing. I'm not sure how I'm, whatever." And you can ask whatever question you want to ask, and then our team, the teachers, will actually check it out and give you some feedback.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about Greg Tomchick. Transitioning from the field to the boardroom, Greg Tomchick, an award-winning cybersecurity coach, former professional baseball player, and CEO of Valor Cybersecurity, has made a name for himself in the business and technology sectors. He focuses on helping executives cultivate internal trust and improve their leadership capabilities. Greg's approach is rooted in self-discovery and the intentional building of meaningful connections, which he discusses on his podcast, The Connected Mindset Live. As a sought-after speaker, he inspires others to share his journey and insights on building trust from the inside out. Greg
He's so cool.
Incredibly eloquent. And I was surprised to hear him describe himself as the dumb jock in high school.
Yeah. He doesn't seem at all dumb.
No, in no way. In no way.
Zero way.
I think he's very much doing himself a disservice.
And also very insightful and curious. And he's also in the episode is like, "Oh, I asked my coaches for feedback. I asked these people for feedback." Like, he's always looking for feedback, which is amazing. I just think he's really awesome. So there's so many things that I love that we talked about, but he mentioned a rhythm of existence. And he was talking about how our overall lifestyle of how we maintain ourselves as individuals, that we carry our personal life into our company. And that's a company that you work for or that you run. We carry it over. And it's so true. There's no way to compartmentalize. I do not understand that at all.
Well, he was talking about hiring people, I think, or doing interviews and how we hire people based on a resume instead of hiring them based on who they are. And he was talking about how his favorite thing to ask is not "What do you do for work?" But instead it's what do you do when you're trying to blow off steam? Or what do you do? Who are you? What do you like to do? And what he's hoping to understand is, are they like a chaos agent?
Yeah. Because
is their life chaotic?
Because if their life is chaotic, they bring chaos into a company.
Yeah. Even no matter what the resume is, if that's how they are, that's who they are, then that's what they're going to bring.
100%. This goes for everything, guys. You don't have to be hiring people. We can actually just take this to like friendships. Do you have those friends who just like everything seems to like tragically happen to them? Like there's just always like drama in their lives. Well, they bring drama into your life. Like that's just how it is. That's who they are. It's okay if you've been friends with them for 17 years or like they know certain people and they're super cool. The resume isn't what you're getting. You're getting the actual person. And so in any relationship that you are hiring for, because we are all looking for best friends, partners, people to work with, things like people to hire, get to know them because that person is what you get. Yeah. So I think that's a great way of exploring it. And he had said, I just want to highlight, like, because we're like cybersecurity, where did this come from in the episode? He was just saying that like security isn't just about technology. It really is about trust within the company culture. And like, we have to focus on that. So if you are a business owner, you do got to focus on your company culture if you do want to have amazing security in your business, because you need everybody to be running at their best and most amazing level. And that goes for in your family too. Like it doesn't have to be cybersecurity. It could be like just taking care of each other inside of a family as well.
Yeah. Listening to Greg talk about that, it reminded me of the, time that I worked back in the office, and you could always tell when somebody was down or, whatever. And 99% of the time it was something happening outside of the office.
Yeah.
Because if it was in the office and somebody fucked up or whatever, you all knew it. It wasn't like, you could
also address it. It wasn't like you would, oh, there's Greg. He fucked up the project. You like talk to Greg. Hey, Greg, what happened here? Like, how can we fix this? Like, you kind of actually can resolve a conflict almost, I would think. Then you can't go to their partner and go, what the hell's happening at home? You're making him have a bad day at work. It's bringing us all down. Like, you can't do that. So like, it's a little, hard.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I really loved that he said was, again, talking about companies and again, making me reflect on my experience. He said large companies that he has worked with, they want a more people-focused approach to security, not just to focus on technology, which I thought was really interesting. Because for me, what that means is technology is changing the cybersecurity space too. And it's impacting some of the things that before a company like his might come in and be like, here's our recommendation. You got to do this, 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 and this. And he's like, today with the, with the advent of login, like one password login, or whatever, all those kinds of tools, those kinds of tools make his job as a cybersecurity expert easier. And he said, actually, a lot of the time now, he's working with them on hiring practices so that he can understand, they can vet the team that they're bringing in or the vendors that they're bringing in, because you might actually be inviting the cyber criminal into your space to work at your space.
Here's a perfect example. You can all witness it on the Ashley Madison documentary. Highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. It's awesome. It is all the things not to do. One of their contractors is who took over the website, held it hostage, not for money, but because of values, and then released all that information that they were supposed to delete. But again, because they didn't hire people who would ask questions, no one was like, hey, did we actually delete the profiles where the people pay extra for us to delete the history? No, they didn't. And that's why they got sued. And it was a big bad thing. So just like, if you are like, no way, this doesn't happen, it happens on a big level. Huge.
Yeah. And alongside getting to know people before you bring them in, he also talked about once they're in, the value of having just a one-to-one conversation and stopping by their desk or their office and poking your head in and actually getting to know them. He said that, we live in a world today of text messages, phone calls, DMs. He said it's a quick dopamine hit, but nothing replaces the actual one-to-one interaction. So I just thought it was interesting. I mean, we work remotely, right? So it's actually hard for us to do that. Although we do spend a lot of time on Zoom calls and Google Meets and all those kinds of things where we like sometimes we're just co-working with people virtually from the other side of the world. And, we are effectively spending time with them, even if it is remotely. But even that I like even more than just a text message or a DM, because you really can feel disconnected. It just feels like you're chatting to, some random people. So, great, really interesting observations. Well, stick around. We'll be right back. All right, finally, let's talk about those be it action items. What bold, executable, intrinsic, or targeted action items can we take away from your convo with Greg Tomchick? He provided 3 C's that individuals and leaders can use to foster trust within themselves and their relationships. And I thought this was really cool because he said, half the battle for cybersecurity is building trust in your team and trust with your clients. And he said the 3 C's are consistency, compassion, and connection. And which we love because that overlaps. 2 of those C's are overlapping OPC's core values.
I know.
Which I love that. But he said you have to have consistent engagement with someone that you're going to build trust with. You want to have an approach to understand where they're coming from, which is the compassion element of it, asking meaningful questions like we were already talking about, sticking your head in their office and actually building trust, getting to know them, not just like, hey, what do you do for work, but like, who are you and what's life like for you? And then with connection, building trust requires genuine connections, hopefully through deep, more than surface level conversations. So what about you?
Okay, so he talked about this, I thought was so great because you can apply this to anything. He said, set your own standards. What a bold statement. And he said, what is this? He said to take a piece of paper and write 1 to 5 and say, what is the standard that I need to have to attract the right person? And this could be for co-working. This could be for a relationship. This could be for a friendship. This could be for anything. Like, what are your standards? We had Jill Coleman on, and she is one of the people who like really, really honed in with us when we worked with her about values. And like values are the same as standards. Like, and also you could also insert like boundaries. Like these are things that are like required to be with me, or work with me, or in a relationship with me of some kind. And so write them down and have a clear list of the 5 most important standards you value. There you go. And then he said an example is that like Greg has transparency and compassion as his values. And so he is very upfront when he meets new people about what those standards are. And it either weeds people out or it attracts the right people in. And they're going to help improve you because they're going to follow with those standards, which means you have to as well.
Yeah, it was interesting. He talked about just basically introducing himself and being like, hey, this is who I am.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
Yeah. Our friend Lauren Zoller does this as well. She's like really like upfront. She's like, here's what I need. Here's what it takes to be like a partner. This is the type of conversations I want to have. This I am. And you know what? Like, I find that she has some very deep upfront conversations that can be very like conversational that may not happen on most people's like 5th or 17th dates, and she's having on like before the date. So I actually think more and more people are wanting to do this because life is short. We don't have a lot of time, and you don't want to like get too involved with someone or something or some project only to find out that the values and standards aren't going to align and you have to get out of it anyways.
Yep, I totally agree. Well, love that. We really love Greg. It's been awesome to get to know him in person. We've actually met up with him a couple times, and it's been just great. He's a stand-up guy, and I think not only has he figured out something really amazing with his cybersecurity company about how to be a leader, but also it's allowed him the flexibility to go around and start speaking from stage about these types of topics, it's just been fun to watch him grow.
Yeah, love it. And also I just want to say, like, check it out. We had a whole cybersecurity and baseball conversation without really talking about either of those things very much. So there's very deep levels to all of these things that makes a person up. So thanks, Greg, for being our guest. How are you going to use these tips in your life? We want to know. I'm Lesley Logan.
And I'm Brad Crowell.
Make sure you share this with a friend who needs to hear it. Please, 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 pretty please, with ice cream on top, please. It is how this podcast grows. We actually cannot get amazing, huge guests. I've had some of you request Michelle Obama, Oprah. Like, yeah, of course I want these people. They care about downloads, peeps. I'm just going to be really honest. So share this with a friend, write a review. It's currency to us. So please. And actually we've had some people ask, like, how can I support you? Straight up, check out the links that we have for our commercials, for our ads, because they are companies that we actually do use their products. We actually have a relationship with them. We talk with them. They have set up a special link so that they know that we've referred you to them. Yeah. And that's how you can support us. Yeah. Absolutely. It helps us also grow the pot. Those referrals are what pays for the pot and helps us grow the pot. So please, 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 that's how you can help us. Thank you so much. And until next time, be it till you see it.
Bye for now.
That's all I've got for this episode of the Be It Till You See It podcast. One thing that would help both myself and future listeners is for you to rate the show and leave a review. And follow or subscribe for free wherever you listen to your podcast. Also, make sure to introduce yourself over at the Be It Pod on Instagram. I would love to know more about you. Share this episode with whoever you think needs to hear it. Help us and others be it till you see it. Have an awesome day.
Be It Till You See It is a production of the Bloom Podcast Network. If you want to leave us a message or a question that we might read on another episode, you can text us at +1 310 905 5534 or send a DM on Instagram at BeItPod.
It's written, filmed, and recorded by your host, Lesley Logan, and me, Brad Crowell.
It is transcribed, produced, and edited by the Epic team at Diseño.co.
Our theme music is by Ali at Apex Production Music, and our branding by designer and artist Gianfranco Cioffi.
Special thanks to Melissa Solomon for creating our visuals.
Also to Angelina Herrico for adding all of our content to our website. And finally, to Meredith Root for keeping us all on point and on time. Go!
Welcome back to the Be It Till You See It interview recap where my co-host in life, Brad, and I we are going. Blah, blah, blah. Shh. Do you hear that?
It's the sound of August licking his paws.
Pause. You said pause.
I said pause.
Okay, because it could have sounded like balls.
Licking his balls.
No,
his paws.
He's looking at his paws, guys. He licks his paws all day long. But aside from August licking his paws down,